Wombat was attacked by a dog this morning, and well, we were walking past this shop and it was dark, and these dogs were behind a big gate and fenced in patio, but they just ran out the side as we were passing and snuck up behind us. One was kind of just curious, but the other one ran straight in and grabbed Wombat's leg. And so he doesn't have a huge cut, but it's big enough that he's going to need stitches. So I'm making my way into this small town, hoping there's a vet here, but probably we're going to have to get to the next big town, which is about 30 k's off the trail. So now I'm just trying to slowly but surely make our way into this first town. If there's a vet here, that's awesome, but the one that's on Google Maps, I think, is just going to be like a supply store.
¿Cómo se llama?
Wombat.
Wombat.
Wombat, como su colla, mira.
Wombat.
Eso.
Wombat.
Oh, sweet.
Wombat.
There's actually no anesthetic. There's no anesthetic in town. So the vet is going to go in to town and to a bigger town like our city to buy the anesthetic and then come back and meet me. He's told me to go further down to a place where his parents own and wait for him there, and there's a place where I can eat if I'm hungry, which I'm not really, funnily enough. Kind of lost my appetite, but anyway, it'll be a good place just to rest, and so good that they're so willing to help and to actually have to drive somewhere to get anesthetic. That's amazing. Well, Mario came back and found us and stitched him up on the back of his ute, which I wish I got a video of, but couldn't manage it. Anyway, Wombat's here now, eating his bribery. I got the chicken soup and saved him a whole heap of chicken, but he's kind of just pretending that he doesn't want to eat it because he's upset. Anyway, he's better now. There's a lovely yellow spot on the back of his leg, which is a spray-on antibiotic. Probably it's for cows because he is a big animal vet, but he assured me that the way that the wound has been closed is sufficient. So I think the first couple of days are going to be the most important to keep it clean, and hopefully by the time we get to Oaxaca, which is our next big town, he'll be fixed. I'm just leaving the restaurant and I've got a bit of a stretch along a road because I had to divert. You're not going to believe this. The vet wouldn't let me pay. He wanted to make a contribution to my walk, which, I mean, it's believable because people are so nice here. But also, like, it's such a stressful thing to go through, and vets are not that expensive here. So, I wasn't really worried about paying. It's just so nice. It just takes the edge off, and that kind of act. He said he wanted me to remember this area as something beautiful and a lovely place, and I already felt that way, but it's just such a lovely gesture. Anyway, better concentrate for this road. And little Wombat, I'll have to show you this little mark on his leg. So I've been walked over to a place where I can camp. It's like camping in a hotel, and they're full because they're building a brand new railroad here. And so anyway, I've just been brought over to a place where I can stay, and another local vet has come by and he's going to give Wombat some treatment over a couple of days. So I get to take a few days off after day one. But that's good because I have a few things I wanted to catch up on. So yeah, now I'm just enjoying the town, and I'm about to go out for lunch with one of the locals. happy? Normally people spit it out on the first bite, but I didn't put too much on.
It's sour a little bit.
It's really salty. I love it.
But it's natural.
Well, I started my day today getting my nails done, which is really exciting because it's just not something I ever get to do. And then I spent my afternoon helping to inseminate cows. The thing is, I really, really love when people are doing something that makes them very happy and that they're proud of. So I loved the experience for that, but whoa, was that a stretch for me? Because they wanted me to participate. So I'm sorry, I'm very sorry for what I'm about to do.
Santa Monica and Mogoña, Oaxaca. Oh, very good. Wow. Hey! Woo! Ready.
Okay.
Tú me dices si lo pasas así.
Anyway, that was my day. It's been really cool. I am actually staying in a little town waiting for Wombat to heal. I've been adopted by so many families. It's just been so lovely. I have been able to work here where there's Wi-Fi. Originally, I was invited to camp here, and then someone up the street said, why don't you use our room? So now I have a room to myself with a hot shower and everything up there, and then I come down here to spend the day. But usually something happens every single day where I get to participate in a community activity, and it's just been really nice while we're waiting for Wombat to recover and for me to continue on.
Ah, 41, sí, de este lado, por favor.
Allá, papá.
Two weeks later, and we're back on our way. Good. All right, see ya. Wombat's doing really well. He's not completely recovered, but it's good enough. It's not going to get infected from here on out, I don't think so. That was a very much unintended 2-week rest after day 1 of 2024, but I'm really pleased to be continuing. So today we're just going to do a short day. We're going to do 15 kilometers and get to a little town called Oaxaca, and then hopefully I'll be able to find a place to rest there for the night, and then we'll start picking up our daily kilometers. You know how people go on and on about their goals this time of the year? I'm normally one of them. A bit of humble pie when you start your first day and then you get 2 weeks behind right off the bat. Anyway, we're back at it now.
Ah, no, a mí me conviene platicar mucho con la persona, el desconocido. Sí.
Buenos días, ¿cómo estás? I've just been picked up to go and check out a project. What's her name? Yadira. Okay, so I've just met Yadira and she's picked me up so I can come and check out one of her projects. She read about me in the newspaper and she wanted to share with me something that she's working on. So she's doing a cabin, as I understand it, with a lookout, a mirador. And so we're on our way to check it out now, and then I'll head back to the point where I was up to walking so that I can keep going for the day. Over there. See ya. I'm walking in the rain this morning, which I'm pretty pleased about. Apart from having wet pants, it's a good trade-off, because yesterday I had really bad heat stroke. You know it's bad when you can't remember the word. Anyway, we left early this morning to try and take advantage of a cooler day. So I'm aiming to do a full day, but I have a contingency for a 2/3 day. But we'll see how we go. There's Wombat. Oh, he's a good boy. Yeah, he's a good boy. Do you want some water? Oh, okay, let's see if I can manage. Excuse me, sir. I just had the best experience. It's really windy, so you may not be able to hear this, but the very short version is I turned up to a town. I went to a restaurant, to a shop, like where I can buy some supplies for the walk today. And I asked if there was a restaurant in town, and they said, no, there's no restaurants here. Come and have breakfast with us. Just like that, and they ushered me in their house, made Wombat wait outside, which he was not happy about, but you know, he waited at the door, which was great. And then they had 2 blue heelers of their own in the backyard, so then I realised why they wanted Wombat to wait outside. Anyway, they gave me this soup, like a broth that had meat in it. It was the most delicious food I've eaten in so long, and I wrapped up in tortillas. Oh, it was so good. And then they got me to try some dried fish, which was also just incredible. I must be really hungry, but I mean seriously, this food was incredible. And then they gave me a plant to try, which was kind of like salty, like really surprising taste. And I was like, I have something from Australia, do you want to try it? And they're like, yes. So I run back and pull out Vegemite. It was so funny. One of them literally like spat it out and then got water and was rinsing his mouth out, just like, and letting the water flood through his face. Oh gosh, I love doing that. And they knew. I was like, be careful, it's really salty, most people don't like it, and they just ate way too much. Anyway, it was so great. And then they sent me off with some like toasted bread. My intention, of course, was just to go and buy food, but these interactions happen so often. It's the best. I love it so much. Like, it really puts energy in my step. Anyway, these people are, I have to really think to pronounce it right. They're Miher people, and that's the language that they speak. It's the name of the group and the language that they speak. They taught me how to say thank you. So as I was leaving, I was like, I've forgotten how to say it. And then I was like, Dios que hui, which is thank you in their language. ¿Cómo se dice?
Dios kuhui. Dios kuhui así.
Dios que.
Dios kuhui.
Dios que hui. And now I'm just continuing on happy as can be. Wombat's a little bit barky right now. I don't know what's gotten up his goat. He probably knows I've got snacks and wants some of them. Every time I stop and start, he does that. It's so annoying. I've been working on getting him to stop it, but problem for later. Yeah, now I feel like I can just walk all day because I'm so happy with the interaction I just had. Other note, if Wombat will let me talk. It's raining and I love this kind of weather, not because I'm getting wet, but just because it's not hot. So I love it. And one of you sent me some socks to try, which are waterproof. So if my socks get wet today and are still wet tomorrow, I'm going to test out these socks and see how good they are. They're meant to be waterproof. I looked them up online. They're hideously expensive. But I want to know because I do get this problem where the bottom of my feet peel after a few days of having them wet, and then I have the most horrific pain, and then I'm susceptible to blisters. So if this can stop that problem, I'm going to be pretty happy. I was just given a plantain, and normally I wouldn't be all that happy about it, but here in Mexico, they're sweeter. So they're delicious. They're kind of more like a banana than a vegetable. Okay, dígame de nuevo. Voy a.
¿Cómo?
Boya.
Boya. ¿Es así?
Moya, puede ser.
¿Oya o boya?
Moya.
Moya. Con un M. Moya.
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 B.
Oh, moya.
Ajá.
Okay, bueno, moya.
Next what's yum.
Next puff.
Next what's yum. Así.
Next.
Sí. Next.
¿Qué es esta? Puff.
Le va a dar un punto que next what's yum.
Next puff.
Next
Yum.
what's
Next.
next
¿Ese?
next what's again next what's
Next foot.
next what's yum.
Ah, next foot. Yum. ¿Por qué no me dice eso?
No. Tabón hasta mañana.
Tabom.
¿Sí?
Tabom.
Tabón.
Bueno.
Be nice. It's just a person. Hey? Today was a really hard day, and I'm talking quietly just because I don't think I'm not in viewing distance from the road, but someone with keen ears might hear us or a dog. So anyway, today was like, normally day 2 is the hard day, but I think because I had a half day the first day, it's kind of got me today. Anyway, so yeah, I was going to push for 35k. I don't even know how many I've done, but I definitely didn't want to do that. I might have done like 32k. Not important. It was just a really hard day. I was walking uphill most of the time, or at least, it felt like that. The first 10k took me just listening in case there's someone here. Anyway, the first part of my morning took way longer than I thought, probably twice as long, because the uphill was so steep, but also I'm walking in the dark in the morning, and some of the part of the road just fell away. Whoa. I just walking along a road. Wait there, good boy. Just walking along a road, and it's like got a complete landslip. Obviously, though, I'm not the first person to come here because there's 2 trails. One is a bit more gamey. I'm not on that one. Hey, buddy. Actually, where I was camping fell away too. I didn't realize. It's a really good thing about Wombat. He always knows where our exit is. So he went off ahead and then stopped right where I needed to climb down to get back onto the road. I was camped on the top of a hill, and so I stopped because I was actually going to overshoot it. And then when I climbed down and started walking not far from where I was, there's just a clear drop off. So it's just lucky because you never know when you're not paying attention. There's been some landslides around here. Anyway, I wore my waterproof socks today, which were given to me. These are them. I don't know what brand they are, but my feet actually, I went through water today. I actually went through a river, and as soon as I put my feet in, it just felt like they filled with water and it was all squishy. And then I couldn't tell if my feet were wet or not. And also because it was cold and then hot and cold and hot all day, I didn't know if maybe I was sweaty as well. So now I'm going to look to see if they're dry. They're cold. I'm doing this one-handed, which is tricky. Oh, they think they're just sweaty, but they are dry. That's so cool. It is so beautiful, but I'm in so much pain right now. I'm just sore, muscular sore, but it hurts, and I'm tired and I need a rest, but it's super muddy. So I need to wait until I can find a dry spot to sit down in, and if that's on grass, which I doubt because it's so wet, then I need to make sure I spray for ticks. But I'm close. As soon as I find somewhere, I'm sitting down. I'm nearly at the town I'm aiming for. I need to get food for tomorrow. And then just walk a little further to find a campsite. Today was kind of determined by where the town placement was. And I'm tired. Oh. Thank God. Can you see that? Might even be a shortcut here. There was another one that I was going to take, but it wasn't really a short. I mean, it's shorter distance, but it said on my map it's only 40 meters climb, and it's definitely wrong. So I went a long way. Now I'm looking for the next one to see if it's worth taking, or if it is also going to be brutal. I really want to sit and eat something sweet, and I also want to just keep going and make my camp. Very foolishly, I put 3 holes in my tent. There's one there, and one there. In my desperation and tiredness to find a camp, I climbed up the hill, and then towards the top of the hill, which was high, there was heaps of blackberry bushes, and I should have just turned around, but I didn't. And then I heard like this ripping noise. I'm not like, a stuck noise. And I was like, oh, that's annoying. It's the aluminium floor that I have. It's a luxury item. This floor. So that when it's wet and raining, I can just have a dry floor ready to put down in my tent and not worry about having to wait for it to dry or dry it myself. Anyway, I have to fix it, and I'm just so tired and a bit like heat struck. So I've got to move quickly because I got here late, and there's a house down here that I didn't ask because I was too tired. It's probably going to come back and bite me. Anyway, tent first, worry about all the rest of it later. Okay, they're done, but it just started spitting, so it's a good thing I got it done in time. That's why I always do it first, because whenever this happens, and it's happened 3 other times, you might have seen, it always happens on a day when it rains at night. And last time I had to get out in the pre-rain to fix it. Anyway, one job done. Next we need to feed ourselves. One last thing, I'm also on a slope, which is what I call a desperate camp, because it means I'm not going to sleep as well as I could if it was flat. Hopefully tomorrow is better. I might have to call it a shorter day, we'll see. I am on a hiker bike section of a trail this morning, and there have been parts that have been, I can't imagine pushing a bike up here. It's doable, it's just that this is quite wide here, but it's been really narrow in other sections and hard to follow. But it's really nice. It wasn't this cheery this morning though. I completely missed the turn off. It looked like it should have just been straight, but it wasn't. The track veers right off the trail that I was on. Just an inaccuracy, I guess. And thank goodness I didn't go all the way down this hill, because I was expecting to be walking down a hill and I could have just followed that blindly for an hour and then would have had to walk all the way back up again. So even though it wasn't as bad as that, I was still really annoyed. And possibly because I'm concerned that later this afternoon, as I'm hiking up the other side of this mountain, it's going to be sunny and hot. So I'm just really trying to advance to avoid that. It's a good boy. I just read on the map a waypoint with the information on it, but it was hidden by another one that was unnamed. I was like, oh, that's silly. Let's look inside the unnamed one to see if there's something there. And when I selected it, I saw that there were two. And one said alternative route, that it could possibly save you more hours, but they don't have the coordinates for it. And if I'd known that, I would have downloaded them, and I can see it would have saved me hours. And also, I mean, this area is completely overgrown, so I've had to like trudge through, especially at the bottom part. And now I get to the river and I see there was a bridge once, but because people are obviously favouring the new route, it's just been left to rot. Because why would anyone use this route when the other one's so much faster and it's wide? I saw it, but I thought it just went to a house, because on my map it doesn't have the complete route yet. I should have looked for recent downloads, but I mean, hey, what can you do? Now I'm gonna put my hat on in case I get ticks. I'm paranoid. This is Wombat waiting for directions on which way we need to go. He can tell that I've stopped and put out my phone to check, and so he knows to sit and wait, and then he'll go the way I tell him. Okay, go right. Oh, good boy. Can I see your leg? No. Good boy. Stop. Always better. What do you want to say to everyone on YouTube? I've just finished my biggest day in a long time. I walked up 2,000 meters. I gotta show you this, hang on. So I've just walked up 2,000 meters, more now that I'm camped at the very top of a hill. It was a really hard day, but I kept taking rest, which was great, because it meant that I didn't get completely drained, which I've done a few times this week on easier days. Just still making the old mistakes. Anyway, I got to the very top and I asked these people, hey, I was about to ask them about accommodation, and I just was like, I'm just going to put this out there. Is there anywhere to camp around here? And I had seen a trail that came up to the top of this mountain. Didn't realise how high it was. It took me like a good 20 minutes to hike up here. And they're like, oh, there's a very pretty place, you have to hike up, and then they gave me these instructions because I kind of had to walk up the trail, and then I had to cut through a shortcut up to our little house, and then I had to go right towards the pine trees. But once I knew there were pine trees, it was really easy for me to figure out where they wanted me to go. And then they said that it's a beautiful view, beautiful place, and it's flat. And it is. And she's like, no one will be there, no one will harass you. And I'm like, perfect, perfect, perfect. And I've hiked up here and it's just so beautiful. So I'm gonna I've set up my tent, and I'm gonna sit down and give you a little summary of the things that have been unfolding this week and wrap this up, because, you know, when I've got reception, which is 2 fleeting moments this week, I need to try and upload this video. And we know how long that took last time, so I'd like to get it done sooner than later. So give me a minute and I'll sit down. Okay, some things that you're going to want to know about before I wrap up. 1, Wombat. He's doing really well. The scab is now, well, it's still a scab, but it's not a open gaping hole anymore like it was when I first started on day 1. And he's doing really well. We're having like an persistent problem with ticks. There's nothing I can really do about it except give him his monthly next guard, which I've been doing. I would love it if they were a sponsor, because it'd be nice if the ticks weren't just blood sucking us dry. And we got something out of it too, but one can only dream. So that's Wombat. The ticks are still harassing me too. It's the bane of my existence. I'm constantly paranoid that I've got bites on me, and I'm checking my skin and taking micro photos with my phone so I can see if it's a tick or if it's just like a scratch or an old bite. But I now carry a big spray can of like Baygon so that I can spray my clothes with it, which actually makes me smell better than I currently do momentarily. The tent holes are holding up. It rained the night that I repaired them, so it's just as well actually that I did repair them, because otherwise it would have just been an annoying night. Yeah, so that's doing well. I'm on track for arriving in Oaxaca when I've planned. There's something else though. The languages, I just found out so I knew that the languages would change as I progress through Mexico, but they're also changing mountain to mountain with dialects of the one language. So I keep learning how to say, how you going, as I walk past people, and then they go from not understanding me. Some people do, but then I'm like, why are they not responding with as much niceness as they have been through, yesterday? And it's because I've passed a new dialect and there's a slight change or variation, so I'm still persisting because it's such a nice reaction. One man gave me such a beautiful reaction the other day. His face stayed the same, but his eyes kind of deepened like with joy, and I was like, yes, I got it right. So it's frustrating that the languages are changing, but it's a game I'm playing, and lots of people are really willing to help me remember how to say certain things, which I think is just really cool. And I take videos too to help me practice. And speaking of persisting, I will continue on my way to Oaxaca, and next time you see me, I should have arrived, and I will be heading out of Oaxaca excitedly because I have a friend coming to join me to help me push through. I've lost so much time in Mexico that I will probably run out of time on my visa, and I don't want to be illegal. I know that some travelers are pretty flippant about it and they're like, just pay the fine, but I'm not cool with that. So might have to do a border run if I can't push through, but this friend of mine is going to help bump me forward and walk with me and keep me feeling well supported and in a good mood, because there's been a few times this week where just restarting is always a bit tricky, especially when it's raining and not raining and hot, and like when the climates are varying so much. But I am now up in the mountains after today, so it should be cooler now walking, I hope. We'll see. It'll get even cooler once I leave Oaxaca because I have another big climb to do, but I'll worry about that another day. So now instead of being hot and cold and hot and cold, hopefully the equipment that I have will be good for this climate, because this is the altitude that I plan for. It's like the average altitude. We'll see. Thanks for following. I feel like such a chump saying this, but I really appreciate all of your responses and comments in the last video, and super thanks. I didn't know that that was a thing that you could do, but I got a bunch of those, and I just want to say thank you so much, because one, it was a great surprise, and two, I am disgusting right now, and hopefully at the next place I'll be able to use their laundry if they let me. Otherwise I'll keep walking until I find a hotel that lets me use their laundry, stay there and feed me. High hopes. Anyway, it's needed, because these pants are like, I mean, I look properly feral, and I used my Vegemite today and didn't realize that Vegemite bottles, you know, the squeezy bottles, they explode when they've been hot. So I went to use it today and I got Vegemite all over my pants, and as much as Wombat was very happy to help me clean all the Vegemite off my legs, there are stains and I just look feral. Thanks so much for watching these videos. When you get the notification, I really do appreciate it. I know I keep saying thanks, but I mean it. So thanks. And I'll see you soon. One last look of Womby. There he is, having a snooze.